Hey guys, SimulShift here. I wanted to do a quick video on importing server components into client components. Now, I ran into this issue here where I tried to import a server component, which is my top nav. See, there's no use client on this component. And I tried to import it. The whole app just fell apart, failed to compile right away because I'm importing this server component in a client component here. So I had to figure out what the heck was going on, what to do. I was kind of freaking out because like, oh my goodness, I can't import server components into client components. So that means a lot of my app is going to be forced to be a client component and I didn't want that. And so like, I was like, there has to be a way to make use of server components inside client components. And there is. So like if we go into the docs, actually Nextjs docs have their own section on interleaving server and client components and how to do it. There's a certain way, there's this unsupported pattern and a supported pattern. First, if we look at the unsupported pattern, this is just exactly what I was doing. I tried to import a server component in a client component. You can't do that. I learned that right now the hard way. So what can we do is the question. So how do we get around this? Like if we have a server component that we want to use as a child to a client component, what do we do? What we can do here is we still in the client component, but we use the children instead as a way to pass down the server component. So as you can see that they're no longer importing. Before they were importing the server component in the client component, we can't do that. So that's gone in here. What this is highlighting is it's in the children. It's being passed down via the props. Um, and so we no longer see it in this component, but it still exists as a child to this client component. So let me show you what they're talking about over here. So like I have this unsupported pattern here. I'm trying to import the top nav, which is my server component, into a client component. That's not working. That ain't it. That ain't it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna delete this. And so now it's gone. I should have no errors in my website. My website doesn't really have much. So that's good. So what do? We go to the parent of the client component. We go find the parent. Parent is a layout. This layout is a server component. And what you can do is you can definitely import a server component into another server component. Totally fine. We love doing that. Love to see it. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, well, I have my top nav already imported here. It's not used yet. And we have the client component here that we were just looking at, the MUI wrapper that was giving us errors. We were trying to import the top nav into. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the top nav as a prop, as a children, I mean, into the MUI wrapper. So we're passing it in this way. And now there's no more errors. And we can see we have my top nav up here. The errors are gone and we are able to pass in a server component into a client component as a child without any issues. So if you look at the MUI wrapper, it's being passed in through the children. We don't see it in the client component. The client component doesn't know about it, doesn't care. It's just passing in the children. And that's the way we can pass in server components into client components. This is the Simul Shift. Thank you so much. Have a good one.